I was skeptical about this one at first. I mean, I've spent way too much money on telescopes that looked amazing in the pictures but ended up being more frustrating than fun. The last one I bought had a shaky tripod and lenses that made everything look like a blurry smudge. So when I saw this high-power stargazing telescope online, I thought, another overhyped piece of junk. But after a few clear nights outside with this thing, I had to change my mind. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What really surprised me was how easy it was to set up. I'm not exactly a tech genius, and I had this thing out of the box and pointed at the moon in under 15 minutes. The EQ3 equatorial mount actually does what it's supposed to do. It tracks objects smoothly instead of just wobbling around. That alone made a huge difference when I was trying to show my kids Saturn. They could actually see the rings without me having to constantly adjust the scope every few seconds. The optical system is where this telescope really shines. It's a refractive design, which means no mirrors to misalign or get dusty over time. The two eyepieces that come with it, PL25mm and PL10mm, give you real flexibility. The 25mm gives you a wide, bright view of the moon or star clusters, while the 10mm zooms in closer for planets like Jupiter or Mars. I was able to spot Jupiter's bands and even its 4 big moons without any extra filters or gadgets. That's not something I could say about the cheaper scopes I've owned. One thing I didn't expect was how well it handles deep space objects. I've always thought of telescopes as moon and planet machines, but this one actually pulls in galaxies and nebulae. The main mirror diameter is big enough to gather enough light to make Andromeda visible as more than just a fuzzy smudge. I set it up in my backyard, away from city lights, and was able to see the Orion Nebula with some structure, not just a faint glow. That kind of result used to require a trip to a real observatory, but now it's something I can do from home. The build quality feels solid too. The tripod is metal, not flimsy plastic, so it doesn't vibrate every time you touch it. The focuser is smooth and precise, which matters a lot when you're trying to focus on something faint like a distant galaxy. I've used this scope in temperatures down to about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and the lenses didn't fog up or anything. That's a big deal if you live somewhere with changing weather. I also appreciate that it comes with a finder scope. A lot of beginner scopes skimp on this, and you end up spending extra just to aim properly. This one has a decent 6x30 finder scope that helps you zero in on objects before you even look through the main eyepiece. It made finding things like the Ring Nebula much faster and less frustrating. Now, it's not perfect. The EQ3 mount, while better than most cheap ones, isn't motorized. So if you're tracking a planet for a long time, you'll need to adjust it manually every few minutes. That's a small hassle, but it's also what keeps the price reasonable. Also, the included eyepieces are good, but if you get serious about astronomy, you might want to upgrade to something like a 6mm or a Barlow lens for higher magnification. Overall, this telescope delivers way more than I expected for the price. It's not just a toy, it's a real instrument that lets you explore deep space from your backyard. If you've been on the fence about getting into astronomy, this could be the one that finally makes it enjoyable instead of frustrating. You can find the full details and current price at the link below. Happy stargazing! For most buyers, the real question is not whether Professional High-Power Stargazing telescope for deep space observation sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like optical system, refractive optical system, pedestal, EQ3 and eyepiece PL25mm PL10mm, limit star actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Professional High-Power Stargazing telescope for deep space observation usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.